HR flock, its main attribute is that they're very even fleeced, heavy cutting sheep. What you see is what you get. We get very few cast lines in a well-classed clip. I do my own wool, and I've done that for in excess of 30 years. I take a good interest in what goes over the table. We find that we get really good main lines, and in a well-managed flock, it's just a pleasure to put the wool through the press. We get good crimp definition, good length. The sheep yield well in this farming country here, which is very important. The sheep comb well. The shearers comment on that. We find the ewes are very fertile. We lamb well over 100%, and lambs today are everything in terms of profitability. I personally follow the wool through the system to the sales, at point of sale, and I give a very critical analysis of what I do, and if it wasn't right, well, I wouldn't be happy. The wool always sells wool well. We get top prices on any market, and I find in the last 20 years that's a very important component of your business. Wool that doesn't stack up at point of sale costs you dearly. The sheep that are in a well-run business are big-framed sheep. Our mutton always sells well. We get big frame wethers, which we run on other property, family property, for 3 or 4 drops, and we find an extra bonus. Our young ewes are in demand. We can sell surplus young ewes very well. Repeat buyers. We can dominate a market very well at an auction sale, and that's very pleasing from a grower's point of view. Look, the Parks PA&H Association runs a February ewe competition every year. We've always ran ewes in that competition. I think it's a valuable day. We get very good feedback from the judges on the day, and in the last 10 or 12 years, I would say we've probably won half a dozen of them. The sheep stand up, and that's, to me, is very important. The family property Olive Ewe has been in the Green family for over 100 years. It consists of 2,240 hectares of red loamy country. We run a mixed enterprise structure here: Merino sheep, Angus cattle, and cereals, lucerne crops. We've kept that balance predominantly to keep a spread of workload, a spread of risk. The Merino sheep enterprise consists of about 2,200 ewes, self-replacing. We've been breeding Merino sheep here since the 1920s. We commenced with a Haddon Rig daughter stud and went directly to the stud by the 1950s. So we've really had probably I suppose a 90-year association with the stud. The reason that we've been very happy doing that, we get an excellent range of rams, whether you buy privately or at the two-tooth auction. We get good detail, good measurement on them. Haddon Rig, a great team to deal with. They're a youthful team. Andy McLean leads a real good bunch of fellas out there. Andy McLeod has been our classer here for 26 or 7 years, and the Faulkner family are very passionate about what they do. Our association at Haddon Rig will continue for, I would suggest, many decades.